All right, countdown has started and finished. We're loading into Overgrowth for game number 2 between Kane and Iaguz. Make sure you get all your friends watching because this is the loser's final. Winner goes up against Snoot, who's been waiting very patiently in the winner bracket final. Let's see who takes home the first place. And in the top right-hand corner, the pink Zerg up 1 in the series. It's Kane. And in the bottom left from Team Root, it's Iaguz.
It's going to be interesting to see, as much as I hate that phrase that I just said, but it really will be interesting to see how Iaguz chooses to open this game, because he's down a map. He doesn't have the advantage of the freedom of being up one game in a season affords you as a Terran to take some risks. So I would expect Iaguz to do something pretty standard here. I don't think that he's going to do any sort of two-rack shenanigans. I feel like we'll see a very safe, methodical opening that he's done so many times before. His go-to build almost, go into a 3cc but have enough units to defend, and he's really going to be on top of his scouting this game. And I'm curious to see how Kane wants to open as well, whether he wants to go for a fast win, just clinch out the series, be able to move on to the grand finals and go to bed, because I'm sure it's getting pretty late over there.
Yeah, I do not envy these guys having to stay up and wait, like especially Snoot, because he's been waiting for hours at this point to play his match. And I know that Bly at some point in the bracket actually went and had a nap between games because he had a couple hours to kill, so it's pretty rough, and you certainly don't play your best when you're tired. So yeah, it may very well be that Kane wants to go for a quicker match here. It's no small feat to also try and take down Snoot after this, so well, hopefully fatigue doesn't play too much into these last few matches here.
No, there is actually quite a few studies now about the lack of sleep and what sort of detriment that has onto your play. And so for every REM cycle effectively that you lose of sleep, or the longer you stay up, it's kind of an impairment equivalent to having alcohol in your system to like 0.05 for every couple of hours you lose. So if you stayed up for 8 hours and you're like having that little sleep, you're playing like a drunk person now, and it's really not going to be your most crisp, clean play. Interesting, Kane did scout the CC first. He has cancelled a gas, so he's going to be going for a 3 hatchery, I believe. Probably wants to throw that down around like the 5:30 mark, or maybe around 6 minutes after he's got all his drones.
Yeah, some nice greedy droning probably on the menu for Kane here. There's not much else he would be able to do other than that. Just trying to outgreed Iaguz, fair enough. So yeah, he's actually going for the CC first for a change. Usually we see him do a 1-racks FE on this map. And in fact, I wanted to ask you, why would Iaguz consistently favor this 1-racks gasless expand over the Reaper opening in TVZ?
Well, Reapers on this map are just really hard to make work because Zergs have figured out that you can just position a Queen on the low grounds near their ramp and like at their nut, and then like have Zerglings on the top. So once 2 Queens are out, you cannot do anything with your Reaper. It's not really a worthwhile investment. So if you're not actually getting anything done with it, why not do something different and just go for Marines that you could use to kill Overlords? You can get a better economy lead or do something. But having a Reaper here is kind of like dead weight. Unless you make 3 of them and you're doing a really fast, aggressive build, then it's a little bit different. But that's why he favors the gasless expand. On maps like Catalina, we'd be much more likely to see him do Reapers because they can keep poking up.
Oh, 3 Reaper on that map. I have nightmares about that stuff. It's just so awful to try and hold off as a Zerg. It can be quite annoying, so... misses the switch. Whoops.
Yeah, and it's really cool as well to see Kane take the 2 gases in his nat and 1 in the main. So if Iaguz does scan the main, he's going to see a lair, but he's not going to see the tech, and he's not going to see how many gases it is. So it's something that a lot of Zergs are doing now. There is a roach for him, so we'll have to see if he wants to commit to that, or if that's just going to be purely defensive, like he has done, so he can secure a third.
Yeah, you might actually stick to roaches a little bit. I can't remember who did this before, but you do get the +1 missile for the roaches, get the roach speed, and then see if you can do anything with that. Some people push with it, some people just prefer it stylistically, but especially if you pair that with a few Banes, it can hold off Terran pushes quite well. But it's a bit different from Kane here, considering that he's just played Ling Bane Muta in the past.
He's getting +1 missile attacks.
Yep.
So we probably will see him at least commit to roaches for a short amount of time. He is getting roach speed and no spire.
Yeah.
So he's definitely going to want to take a third base and do some strong roach aggression, maybe even a roach bane timing around 10 minutes if Iaguz wants to take a greedy third, or even just crash into the nat if he makes a huge amount of units. There are some really strong timings. Nice scout though, sees everything he needs to. Iaguz is very well adapted, as I said before, to scout timing, so now he's just going to be able to go back at home, make some more bunkers, and do everything he needs to hold.
Yeah, make sure he's very well defended, because this doesn't take very long to hit. I mean, +1 and roach speed are already halfway done. After this, I would expect to see him maybe go back into 1-1 upgrades. I don't think I've ever seen those actually commit that hard and go into the +2 missile attacks afterwards, unless they're planning to play Roach Hydra or something, which, to be honest, I haven't seen all that much recently. I think it's fallen out of favor a little bit. But we do have the third base coming down now for Kane. And he's only pumping roaches right now. No workers, so it's certainly going to be an attack. Will Iaguz have enough to defend against? It's going to be pretty scary.
Well, he wouldn't really start making more workers until the third was about 2/3 or even 3/4 done, and then he rallies to the third and makes a bunch more. Really nice as well, being annoying by pooping the creep onto the third, but Iaguz is on top of that, so he'll shut that down. Iaguz has made a tank, so he does know that it's roaches. He got the perfect scout. He's got one more bunker behind as well, so I don't think that this is going to do too much from Kane. He'll probably be able to kill a couple of SCVs from the pool, though. Might be able to do some damage if that... Oh, that bunker does go down. Oh my god, he actually got the tank that was so far out of position. Iaguz is going to be losing a lot more than he would have originally hoped here. I mean, he's going to have another bunker. He will be able to hold this, but this did way more than it should have.
Yeah, that was very nice for Kane, getting the siege tank, getting in there very quickly, taking out the bunker, and that's also lost mining time on top of the lost SCVs. Another siege tank is out now, though, so should help him defend against further pressure. In the meantime, the Spire is halfway done, heading into double Evo chambers. Surely he only needs one, he doesn't need two extra.
Well, yeah, that may just be a mistake because he forgot about the one out in the nat. It's kind of like, oh, well, I need it to make my melee and carapace, so I'm going to build my 2 Evos now, but, it's not the end of the world.
No, because that's very cheap building. It's kind of nice to have them at the back anyway. Having upgrades rather at the front can be a little scary sometimes if the Terran really gets up in your grill and manages to snipe it, but we don't see that too often, luckily. Armory finishing up for Iaguz in the meantime. He's
a little bit late.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to be super critical here, but that armory should have been done about a minute ago for him to do the 1-1, but he got so put off by the attack in the nat. Kane really showing his class there because he had the roaches and he just knew, I can do damage here, I can kill that bunker. Oh, look, there's the tank that's out of position. I'm just going to right-click that once and back away. I'm not going to lose my roaches, I'm going to hold on to them. He did all the damage that he needed to and saved all the units for another day as well.
Yeah, he did very well. I guess preparing for these mutas now as they do come out. And we'll see if Kane is able to do much damage here. He does tend to go for quite a big ball of mutas in the sky. And he uses it very well. He's able to pick off reinforcements, take out add-ons, all the stuff that you'd expect from a top-notch Zerg player like this. And I guess heading out on the map a little bit here. Now, is there a timing around this, or is he just kind of posturing, seeing what's out on the map?
This is the timing to pressure a fourth and kill some creep. So you normally push out at 11 minutes with this sort of army, maybe even a few Hellbats. That's something that top Koreans are sort of favoring now as well. You just kill creep, do whatever you can. You don't overcommit. You certainly don't attack the third with this. You just save that unit, those units for later. Because you want all those units, when 2-2 finishes, to do that parade push into the fourth. The thing is, though, Kane is so on top and so on point with his macro. He's got a lot of Roach Bane Ling. Any push right now from Iaguz is going to get crushed. He should not be pushing across the map right now.
Certainly, he's on an 80 drone economy, in fact, so he's got no problems pumping out sheer amounts of units
It's a
just
lot.
to destroy this army of Iaguz. So he goes in with the scan, sees a
Yeah.
little bit of what the composition is.
Good scan, immediately retreats. He knows just as well as I do that you don't push into that on creep.
Yep.
His production's coming up back at home. He's going to have 2-2 finishing in about a minute's time. He's producing mines as well. I'm not sure I quite like mines instead of getting maybe a couple of more tanks or like a Thor. Or, there's just not a whole lot that the mines actually do against a composition that's this heavy in roaches.
Yeah,
Not
certainly.
100% sure. Even Marauders, like more Marauders,
Yeah.
and sacrificing a couple of mines, I think is actually better in this situation.
I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't incorporated more in, because I was going to say, this looks like a very squishy army when you compare it to the amount of roach and bane that's on the map. And all this creep, it's already in towards like the potential fourth base of Iaguz if he wanted to take the gold.
He's doing a really nice job at that creep.
Yeah, he's coming right around the other side of the map. Iaguz is kind of in the middle of no man's land at the moment. He's just kind of... Okay, he's going to move forward here.
Sick. I love this from Iaguz. So he sees that a lot of the Lings are trapped on the other side of the map and the Mutas as well, so he is going to go for a push. The issue is Lings are so fast on creep that he should have positioned up earlier. That is a huge attack though from Kane, pushing down with a lot of those Banelings, and the Roaches are such good meat shields. The Mutas in the air have such high DPS as well. He overcommitted there and he lost way too much. If you look at units lost now, Iaguz is in a huge deficit, which is not where you want to be as Terran. You have the more cost-efficient units, especially against things like Roaches. He needs more Marauders. This is another huge attack by Kane. He could potentially just win the game here. Not a nice hit by the Widowmine. He wanted those on the Banelings. There needs to be some good spreads. The Thor is out. Yeah, I think that he will be able to push this back. The Thor is actually going to make all the difference that he needs there.
Wow.
Iaguz lives to fight another day. He needs to be able to saturate a fourth base, though, and start to get some parity with the economy and push back the creep. That's exactly what he's doing. He is playing this really nicely.
Yeah, 2-2 finishing up for the Zerg now. So that's going to put him on even footing with Iaguz in terms of the upgrades for a little bit, but 3-3 is halfway done, and that's going to be the next delicious timing for this Terran army to do some damage towards the Zerg. Now floating out his fourth base towards the top left there. That's a nice place to be able to kind of posture from, then rally out to, fall back to if things get a bit sticky as well.
Yeah, and the reason you do this is because you can hold the watchtower and you only have to defend one side of your map. You can defend the other side with a bunker at your third, and this is by far the easier fort to hold.
Yep, Muta's trying to come in from the side to pick off a few units at the watchtower, but they are forced back. And Iaguz spreading very nicely out across this area, trying to get rid of creep tumors wherever he can to limit the vision and hopefully speed of the Zerg, although it does take a while for this creep to recede. And Kane is looking
Nice
for...
unit spread by Iaguz. This looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
As a Zerg player, you get a little bit flustered here. You're like, gosh, where do I actually start to attack? It's like he has to go around from the back as well. At the moment, he's winning
This
these
is
little
the
skirmishes.
one point
Right.
on Overgrowth that really favors Terran, just because you can set up this almost impenetrable position and use the map's architecture to your advantage. Big attack coming down from Kane. He wants to be able to clean this out, but there's so many Banelings really getting messed up by that Thor. He might be able to clean this up and do fairly well, but Iaguz has cleaned up a lot of the drones. He's killed almost the full head. He's gonna get it! Oh, it's supposed.
so
Oh my
close.
god, he gets it! Oh, that was so good with the extra hero marine. So sick there. Iaguz is actually going to be able to push ahead with economy now for the first time in the game. And if we look back at the upgrades, Kane has actually managed to go for the 3-3 himself, so he's going to be able to bring that up to speed as well. And he's got ultras on the way, which is really going to make a huge difference too.
Yeah, certainly. Oh man, Kane's got to be upset about losing that fourth base. Trying to support ultras on 3 base, not ideal. Yeah. So he's got his own 3-3 coming through as well. That's going to really help out. Of course, you don't really want to have your ultras without, at very least, the armor and chitinous plating. Otherwise, they're pretty squishy. And I guess continue to clear up creep on this map. He's not too worried about the right-hand side because that's not where he's pushing. But now he's cleaned most of it up out of the middle of the map. This is enabling the
Control.
presence.
So good. And if Kane ever wants to take a 5th base and take that 5th base on the right-hand side, he needs creep there. And Iaguz is just being so proactive in cleaning that out. That gives Iaguz so much more breathing room and makes his pushes a lot more effective as well, because there's more spots on the map where he can have a genuine chance of fighting off creep. I don't agree with this decision by Iaguz, though, to push this far forward. I think he should probably wait for his units to come. They are pushing across the map, though. He doesn't want to fight out of position, though. The mines are getting some nice hits. Kane isn't committing either, so quite even so far.
Yep, trying to pick off one ultra, but the rest of the Zerg army is coming in. +3 attack hasn't quite finished yet, but the rest of the armor has. And Iaguz is actually getting cleaned up here as Banelings cross through. Ultra's giving big hugs to this bio. A bit more coming in on the side here. Might be able to take out maybe an... Oh gosh, no, not even an ultra.
Units.
Yeah, and the Mute is chasing after these medevacs too now. He doesn't have many left. In fact, he's only got the 3 that we can see on screen right now.
And Kane is going to be switching into Infestors as well. Infestor Ling, that's going to do quite a lot. The Ultras are just going to be so hard to deal with, though. Iaguz actually lifted up some of his barracks accidentally and was floating them out. So that's even less production that he has. I don't think he can hold this. I think Kane's just won the game. GG.
Wow. GG.